everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Happy Teachers Day to all of you. We students of English Department, Maharaja Krishna Kumar CG, Bhavnagar University, we are celebrating Virtual Teachers Day on 5th September 2023. This video is prepared as a part of participation in Virtual Teachers Day. For that, in this video, I am going to talk about one interesting topic, which is Meena Kandasamy's poem One-Eyed. I will upload this video on my YouTube channel very soon. So let's start. Table of contents. These are some of the important and major topics which I am going to cover in my entire presentation. They are introduction about the author, an overview of the poem One-Eyed, relevant images and news headline about that incident, poem's message and conclusion. Okay, let's begin the discussion of the poem about the brief introduction of the poet. Introduction: Meena Kandasamy. Ila Venil Meena Kandasamy, born in the year 1984, is an Indian poet, fiction writer, translator and activist from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. She developed an early interest in poetry and later adopted the name Meena. She completed a doctorate of philosophy in sociolinguistics from Anna University, Chennai. But she began writing poetry at the age of 17 and began translating books by Dalit writers and leaders into English. So this is a small introductory part about the poet Meena Kandasamy, and from this slide we came to know that Meena Kandasamy is one of the Dalit writers who tried to spread awareness and lights on such aspects on the Dalit's life through her important and major works. Meena Kandasamy's two collection of poems published in the years 2006 and 2010. In that, one collection of poems, Touch, which is published in the year 2006, and it was themed around caste and untouchability, while the another collection of poem, Miss Militancy, published in the year 2010, and it was about an explosive and feminism retelling of Hindu and Tamil myth. So Meena Kandasamy's two collection of poems, Touch and Miss Militancy. Further, as a writer, her main focus was on caste annihilation, feminism and linguistic identity. She is an anti-caste activist, poet, novelist and translator. Her father taught Tamil language for a time at the Madras University. Their involvement in the anti-caste struggle led Meena Kandasamy to work alongside Dalit movements, and it influences all her works. Her writing aims to deconstruct trauma and violence. She says that poetry is not caught up within larger structures that pressure you to adopt a certain set of practices while you present your ideas in the way that academic language is. So, we can say that as a writer or as a poet or as an activist, Meena Kandasamy's main focus on while writing, these are some major aspects which she focuses more while writing, and they are caste annihilation, feminism and linguistic identity. Now let us try to understand these aspects in a more deeper way. First one is caste annihilation. Caste annihilation is a kind of practice which is done by the upper caste Hindus. Feminism, we all know about feminism. And linguistic identity. Linguistic identity refers to a person's identification as a speaker of one or more than one language. So that is how these are some of the important aspects in which Meena Kandasamy write a lot. Further, her father taught Tamil language for a time at the Madras University, and that is how she took inspiration from her father. And their involvement in the anti-caste struggle led Meena Kandasamy to work for the Dalits, and that is how this involvement influences her works in one or the another way. Her writing aims to deconstruct trauma and violence, and she says that poetry is not caught up within larger structures that pressure you to adopt a certain set of practices. It means that poetry should freely flow. It does not bounded by any academic restrictions, and while you present your ideas in the way that academic language is. So Meena Kandaswamy's point of view about poetry is that one can freely express her or his ideas in a way that he or she wants, and that is how poetry should be flow in a very free way. It should be unbounded. So that is how we can understand the point of view of Meena Kandasamy about her works and about her poetry. Okay, so now let us try to focus on the poem One-Eyed Poem by Meena Kandasamy. As you can see that this poem is very small. So let us try to read this poem stanza by stanza, or we can say line by line. The pot sees just another noisy child. The class sees an eager and clumsy hand. The water sees a parched throat slaking thirst, but the teacher sees a girl breaking the rule. The doctor sees a case of medical emergency. The school sees a potential embarrassment. The press sees a headline and a photo feature. Dhanam sees, here we can see that Dhanam is the name of that girl. Dhanam sees a word torn in half, her left eye lid open, but light slept away. The price for a taste of that touchable water. So this is the poem One-Eyed, written by Meena Kandasamy. This poem is very short and easy to understand, but it gives a deeper idea about the lower caste and upper caste system. After saying the entire poem, now we will discuss about an overview of the poem. The poem is about Dhanam, a little girl who is thirsty and touches the pot, drinking a glass of water from it. One-Eyed, the short poem highlights various atrocities committed against the Dalit women. Meena Kandasamy emphasizes the humanitarian behavior and attitude of inanimate things which, as a human beings, we are lacking. This poem poignantly reveals the story of a child whose eyesight was snatched from drinking water in the glass that is only meant for the upper class. The concept of untouchability is primarily used against lower class and lower section people. So this is a brief overview of the poem, and in that we can understand that it is about one little girl named Dhanam, and she was thirsty and touches the pot and drinking the glass of water from it. Now you see that this incident incident is a very common or small incident, but how this incident leads Dhanam to her towards her death because of her teacher. As she touches the pot and drinking a glass of water from it, her teacher sees that she is breaking the rule, and in the poem, the line you can see is that the teacher sees a girl breaking the rule, the doctor sees a case of medical emergency, the school sees a potential embarrassment, and the press sees a headline and a photo feature. So that is how we can understand that Dhanam was thirsty, and that is why she drinking a glass of water from it. But her teacher sees that, and for that her teacher punished her for doing that activity. Now here you can see the photo of that girl Dhanam, and about the newspaper headline. हेडमास्टर की मटकी से पानी पिया तो 8 साल के दलित छात्र की हत्या. So that is how you can see the relevant image about that particular incident, and also this news about this news headline. So from these images we get an idea that this poem is about the injustice with Dalit women or Dalit girl, and how Meena Kandasamy puts emphasizes on lower class and lower section people. Continue. The teacher of the school considers it as an act of violating the rule, whereas the media looks it as a fresh headline to publish. In this poem, the learned teacher in the school slapped the girl for breaking the rules. Meena Kandasamy tries to tell us that Dalits are the worst sufferers, as they do not have the political and economic power to fight against the upper class people's supremacy. Even the pot, glass and water take pity upon the girl. These inanimate objects feel for her, and they allow themselves to quench her thirst. So we can see that this particular incident happened in the school, and the teacher of the school considered it as an act of violating the rules, whereas the media looks it as a fresh headline to publish. In the previous slide we have seen the news headline about that incident. And in the poem, the learned teacher, you can see the words that learned teacher, but what the learned teacher has done with her student. Slapped the girl for breaking the rules. And through this poem, what Meena Kandasamy tries to tell us is that Dalits are the worst sufferers, or we can say they have to suffer a lot because of their caste system and class system. As they do not have the political and economic power to fight against the upper class people's supremacy. We can take a deeper insight into the poem by looking at even the pot, glass and water. Now see that this pot, glass and water, all these are the inanimate objects, but even they feel for the girl Dhanam, and they allow themselves to quench her thirst. But Meena Kandasamy criticizes the human beings, that as a human beings we cannot feel for the girl, and that teacher slapped the girl in front of everyone, that snatched her inside and leads Dhanam towards her death. So that is how these inanimate objects feel for Dhanam, but as a human beings we are lacking we are lacking that things that Meena Kandasamy tries to tell us through this poem. Poem's message. Okay, so now let us try to understand that what message this poem tries to give us. Water is a natural resource and it never gulps but sacrifices itself to all the creatures in the world. But some human beings divide water for the upper caste and water for the lower caste. So here you can see the discrimination of the water, that water is for the upper class and the water is for the lower caste. The children of the low castes were denied the right to drink water with the other. Dhanam was slapped severely when she drank. In her eyes, the world seems to be partial and it shows partially to a particular group. The main message of this poem is Dalits are common people like other human beings and they also have their own lives. So this is the poem's message. We can understand that, as we all know, that water is a natural resource and it never gulps but it sacrifices to all the creatures in the world. But like the thinking or mentality of that teacher, some human beings divide water for the upper class and for the lower caste. The children of the low caste were denied the right to drink water with the other who belongs from the upper class. And Dhanam was slapped severely when she drank. So in this poem, Dhanam becomes the main victim. And this poem also shows, or we can say that Dhanam eyes also seems to be partial one, and it shows partiality to a particular group. So we can see that partiality towards the lower caste and lower section people. The main message of this poem is that as a human being, we all have to understand that Dalits are also common like us, like the human beings, and they also have their own lives. So we all have to we all have equal rights for everything, and that is how we cannot treat Dalits like an outsider of the society or like anything, because they are also an important part of the society and they are also like the other human beings, and they have also their important lives, and Dalit lives also matters a lot. So that is how we cannot do such types of things. Conclusion. To conclude, Meena Kandasamy recounts the brutal and inhuman treatment given to the little girl of the lower caste. Here in this poem, the reader could see that an institution corrupts the little child. According to Meena Kandasamy, the school, the hospital, the media and the press violate the rules. Human beings are born equal in dignity and rights. So these lines are very much important, that according to Meena Kandasamy, the school, the hospital, the media, the press, they all violate the rules, and as a human beings, we all are born equal in dignity and rights. Meena Kandasamy voices for the unvoiced, especially for Dalits. As earlier I also mentioned that Meena Kandasamy is one of the important Dalit writers, and that is how, with the help of her works, she voices for the unvoiced, especially for Dalits. And this image you can see that Dalit lives matters a lot for all of us, and that we need to understand, that we all need to understand that we cannot behave with Dalits like an outsider, or they are not part of a society. We all are equal human beings, including Dalits. Okay, so that is all for the video of Teacher's Day. I have prepared a small quiz based on Meena Kandaswamy's poem One Eyed. I have given the link in the description box, so please apply in the quiz, and after the completion of successful quiz you will get and certificate in your email. I have also uploaded this lesson on TED Ed platform, and I will also upload it on my YouTube channel, so please do visit, appear in the quiz and get your certificate. Thank you for watching.